Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about kind of one of those myths that we have here in the fitness world that I think it's worth talking about, and that's the fact that a lot of fast food and things like that aren't completely nutritionally void the way people think that they are. They oftentimes say stuff like that, oh, they have no vitamins or minerals. That's simply not true. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, what I want to make clear here is that I'm not saying that sitting around eating burger and french fries and drinking soda is anywhere near an ideal diet for health, athletes, anything else. So let's get that out of the way. Furthermore, we always get that stuff of people are going to be like, Jason, you're a fat guy. Although at this point, guys, let's be realistic. I'm not a fat guy anymore. But, you know, even if that's the way someone wants to take it, my disclaimer, I think a fat guy is perfectly qualified to talk about burgers and french fries. Poor people say, who are you to talk about this? Because this isn't even about weight loss. This is talking about just nutritional value. And I'm not saying a lot of candy and soda and stuff like that isn't pretty much nutritionally void for the most part because it's so heavily refined. But when we're talking about, various fast food, people say stuff, oh, there's no nutrition there. Well, no, there's actually vitamins and minerals. There's actually pretty large amounts. The only problem you run into is maybe the calories. The calories and oftentimes the fat content is relatively high compared to the amount of vitamins and minerals in it. But, let's say you take a hamburger, right? It's beef, probably 30% fat beef. All white bread, lettuce, pickles. Order french fries on the side. That actually, you'd be surprised what the nutrition profile looks like on something like that. Particularly the french fries. You know, people say silly stuff like, well, because they've been fried in the oil, they've lost their nutritional value. No, they haven't. It's still potatoes. And if anyone pulls up the nutrition profile on potatoes, go look at what's in about 500 calories of actual potatoes. Now that's before the stuff is added. So I mean, your 500 calories of potatoes, once they've been french fried, might jump to 800, 900 calories. And that extra calories that have been added are being added without really adding much in the way of substance or quality nutrition. And it's usually damaged fats. I mean, frying them in hot peanut oil and stuff. That's relatively void of micronutrients, the stuff that's being added. But the potatoes themselves, they're still chock full of vitamin C, potassium, magnesium. A lot of these things that people think that they need to supplement. How many people out there are buying some of these individual supplements? And then you start looking at something like what's in 500 calories of potatoes, which could be the basis of, a big chunk of your french fries if you got a big pile of them. It's just all that other stuff is added. But I mean, no, seriously, look at that. Pull up the vitamin C content on that. The vitamin K, the potassium, the magnesium, all those things, they're actually going to be really high in that. And just because you cooked it under heat doesn't make that go away. And if anything, what you find with a lot of vegetable source things, even if the amount in there gets slightly damaged from the heat, the absorption is higher. So you actually end up getting more of it than if you had eaten it raw. You absorb it better after it's been cooked. Humans are cooked food eaters. Like, we're not actually really raw food eaters when you look at our GI tract. We've developed over very, very long periods of time to cook food where that's actually what our system prefers most of the time. Not saying some raw food's not good. I mean, fruit, veggies, all that stuff certainly has some benefits, especially fruit to eat raw. There's a lot of benefits there. But a lot of vegetables, tubers even also, we don't absorb the nutrients in them very well when they're raw. They actually kind of need to be cooked for us to get the most out of them. But, you've got the french fries. And then you go take something like the burger. Look at the zinc, the iron, the vitamin B12. Same thing. You take even that white bread. White bread, yeah, it loses some of the fiber. It does lose some of the health benefits. But you start looking at it, it really, in terms of actually having vitamins and minerals, it's not that terrible. And you throw some vegetables on there, even if it's lettuce and pickles, you'd be surprised how many vitamins and minerals are in your McDonald's. Now, granted, you start throwing the soda in, you're adding a bunch of empty calories again, and you're already getting a fair amount of empty calories. So the issue you run into with foods like this is that it's not that it's devoid of nutrition, it's that it has excess calories added to it because of the processes we put it through that aren't bringing more vitamins and minerals to the table. But, a 1,500 calorie burger and fries combo that you'll get at a place like that has a lot of calories. But if you look at the vitamin and mineral content, it's probably pretty similar to what you would get from an 800, 900,000 calorie whole food meal, right? So what essentially have you gotten if you compare that to eating, something balanced? I don't know, chicken, broccoli, and rice. You think of it as a normal, balanced, healthy meal, even for an athlete or physique competitor or anything else. When you compare it, essentially it's actually got similar amounts of probably protein, vitamins, minerals, all that stuff. It's just that it probably has 500 or 600 calories of just added fat that probably doesn't come with any additional vitamins and minerals. So that's what we're dealing with. We're just dealing with foods that are higher in fat than they should be, that aren't bringing more micronutrients to the table. So what we end up happening is that it becomes very easy to overeat. It becomes very easy to overeat these things, and that's where we run into a nutritional problem with these foods. They're hyper palatable. Salty, fatty, sugary. That's your three things, and any combination of those two things is going to make a food easy to overeat. Any food that's your three things on your taste buds. That's what makes foods generally hyper palatable. Those are the three things that we crave. You combine any two of them together, what do you get? You get a food that's easy to eat, hyper palatable. We enjoy eating them. We derive pleasure from it. What happens when it's really calorically dense, like we're dealing with in this case of these foods? Because also that's where you run into problems too. You compare that 1,500 calorie burger and fries, you compare it to chicken, rice, and broccoli, and it might be half, it might even be a third, in some cases a third of the food volume of 1,000 calorie version of the other. Similar vitamins and minerals, but we have less food volume, more calories. So, it's easy to overeat that. But by that same token, that's where we come to the point when I say that even people who eat a fast food diet might not actually have a vitamin and mineral deficiency. People say that stuff, oh, well, they're going to need all these vitamins if they're eating that. No, probably not. They're just going to eat too many calories, and they'll probably be okay. Odds are that if someone's eating something like that for 2 out of their meals every day because they don't want to cook, and they eat, milk and cereal and orange juice for breakfast, and they end up eating a burger and fries for their 2 other meals, they're probably not going to be deficient in vitamins and minerals. They're not going to have a deficient diet. I'm sorry, that's just reality. What I just described, 90% of the population is not going to be deficient in anything really if that's what they ate, right? Eat some sort of normal fortified cereal. They could eat corn flakes, milk, and a glass of orange juice for breakfast, burger and fries for lunch and dinner, and guess what? They're not going to need a vitamin supplement. All right, that person is going to get plenty of vitamins and minerals. What they're lacking is going to be overall diet balance. Their diet's probably going to be too high in overall fat. It's probably going to be too high in calories because that person might end up with a 3,000 calorie diet doing this and have a maintenance of 2,300 calories, 2,400 calories. That's where they're going to run into problems because, again, it's the hyper palatable foods. But the thing is, that 3,000 calories that they're eating has just as much vitamins and minerals, all these micronutrients that you need, as someone eating a really balanced, healthy 2,000 calorie diet. It's probably going to be pretty close. Problem is that extra 1,000 calories is not contributing much other than just adding more fat calories to your diet. And the lower food volume. That's why they're easily eating that 3,000 calories. That's what it comes down to. That's our issue with fast food. That's our issue with a lot of it. And I'm not talking about the junk food. Now, when we start talking about candy and soda and stuff like that, now we're serious there. That actually is a problem. That is where you easily hit a truly deficient diet. But people aren't hitting deficient diets from eating these high fat somewhat processed foods. That's not, they're not getting nutritional deficiencies from it. Now, if you eat a true all-out junk food diet where you eat candy all day and drink soda, and that comprises 50% of your calories a day, yeah, then you're going to run into problems. And that's a different form of junk food diet. And I'm not advocating either one, other than some athletes, maybe that first one might be okay. There are athletes who need a lot of empty calories. They need that extra calories. But 95% of us who even train, we don't fall in that category. I don't fall in that category. And odds are you don't either, but if you might. But, again, that's a very individual thing, isn't it? But the point we're coming back to is that people aren't getting nutritional deficiencies from eating fast food. They're just not necessarily getting the most balanced or healthy diet they could be. And yeah, it can be a problem for them. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.